This is the Round 2 podcast with Galen Parker and Stephanie Nicole, where we talk to big thinkers, big dreamers, and big idea havers. Quitting and failing are not the same thing, and we're going to show you why. Ladies and gentlemen, it is great to have you back. My name is Galen Parker. This is the Round 2 podcast starring Stephanie Nicole. Stephanie Nicole, say hello to the people.
Hey, everybody.
You're still not matching my energy, but I'm gonna accept it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special show because you know how I feel when we have guests. I skip all the preamble, but the one thing that I will not skip, if you have not done so already, do yourself a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with everything. We're giving you guys game. We're giving you tips. We're bringing on coaches. We're bringing on gurus. If you're not taking advantage of it, well, then that's your fault. Don't get upset with me when you're working by the hour and being upset. We're making millionaires here. We're giving away for free. I charge for everything I do. Stephanie charges for everything she does. Chris is charging for everything he does. But we're giving it to you guys for free. You just got to tap in and pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Chris Mills in the building. Give himself a round of applause. We are happy to have him. He is not your average wholesaler. He is not just a licensed realtor. He's not an everyday YouTube, Instagram guru. He is the truth. Chris Mills, introduce yourself to the people today.
Hey, I appreciate you, Mr. Galen Parker. Also, Stephanie, for having me today. Yeah, I'm not your average guru. What else would I say? First of all, I want to give thanks to the man above. I am a follower of Christ. You know what I mean? I always want to give a shout out to him for all my experiences, anything I'm doing in life, from bringing me out the mud to where I am now, man, it all has to do with Christ. So that's number one. Number two, I'm a husband. I'm a father of two. I just had a newborn like 16 days ago. Not getting much sleep.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah, not getting much sleep.
Wait a minute. What are you even doing here if you got a 16-day-old? I mean, how is she even allowing you? That's awesome.
Hey, I'm in the garage with it.
I love it.
In the studio. She
I
know,
love
she know the show must go on. You know what I mean? The show
Yeah.
must go on.
And on top of that, on June 22nd, you're going to be speaking at an event. So the baby still will be fresh at that time too, but he outside giving out.
All right,
gems.
we're gonna circle back to that
for
event.
sure.
June, you said June 22nd. All right, we're gonna circle back to
Yeah.
that. Where is that? Where's that
Yeah.
gonna be?
And Dallas.
Is that the same one you're gonna be at?
I am
Let
gonna
me check on Spirit flights real quick. Let me run out to Dallas.
They gotta get in there.
Let me
Get in the
run.
room,
Let
for
me run
sure.
back out to Dallas. I was in Dallas a couple times. I was at Tony Robbins conventions out in Dallas. Dallas loved the boy. Dallas. Anyways, so Chris, you're also a coach. You said what are you coaching?
Yeah, I'm also a coach. I coach real estate wholesaling. I really don't like to go past coaching real estate wholesaling, really, because there's so much intricate details in being a real estate investor or a rehabber or a developer, or there's so many different lanes. So I like to teach what I wanted to learn when I first got in the game, and that's entry level real estate, which is wholesaling. That's the bottom. That's the beginning before you can do anything. You got to learn how to find a deal and how to get some money in your pocket. I call it the quickest, easiest, and cheapest way to get started in real estate. If you think of being the bag boy or bag girl at the grocery store, that's what it is. It's entry level, but it ain't no entry level pay about it.
I
You
love
know
it.
what I'm saying? It's way higher than entry level pay, but it is the beginning to real estate. So I like to teach that first.
Could you
and
tell
I
us
really just gone in on that.
what wholesaling is, just for somebody who may not know what that is?
Yeah, sure. So wholesaling is just another strategy of real estate. Is basically you finding a property or a distressed homeowner who needs to sell. They don't want to sell their property, but they may need to sell, which allows us to get the property at a discount, right? So if you're able to get the property at a discount, you can then tie that property up with what's called a purchase agreement, right? And on that purchase agreement, you allow yourself some time to close. Within that time frame, you're allowed to market the property. You have equitable rights using the purchase agreement. You can now market that property to what's called an end buyer, who will ultimately bring the funds to closing and will pay you what's called an assignment fee. and that's our profit in the wholesale transaction. That's basically what you're playing middleman between the seller and the buyer, and you're collecting a fee in the middle. And I mean, it's really little low entry barrier cost when doing that. You can do
I
it over and
like
over.
so oftentimes I talk to people and the assignment fee. I'm of the school where if a wholesaler brings me a deal, I don't care what the assignment fee if the numbers make sense to me. Like so. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong. I mean, you could have an assignment fee of 2,500 or an assignment fee of 25,000, right? I mean, it's just if it makes sense.
right. It can get bigger than that.
All right,
It can get crazy. I've had colleagues done higher than that. It's
what's
crazy.
the
It can get
highest
crazy.
assignment fee you've heard?
The highest assignment fee I've heard was like $125,000. And then I have a student who's negotiating a possible $200,000 assignment fee. That'll be the new biggest one I
That's
hear.
amazing.
The biggest one I've done is not 100, but
Good,
it's
good.
up there.
I like that. Very good. And I'm noticing something. Stephanie and I, we've talked a lot about like wholesaling, and sometimes wholesalers get a negative reputation. But something that you had mentioned on your Instagram kind of struck a chord with me. You mentioned reverse wholesaling. Can you explain to people what that is?
Okay, so wholesaling, you're usually looking for the seller first, and then you're looking for a buyer after you lock up the price of the property, right? Reverse wholesaling is a little bit easier because instead of looking for the seller first, you're looking for a buyer first, right? So you go out there, you build relationships with rehabbers, with real estate investors, with fix and flippers, right? And you're seeing what areas are they buying in. What price point are they buying at? What type of properties are they buying? Are they buying single family, multifamily, commercial? They're looking for land, mobile homes. So when you go out there and you start networking with your end goal, you can kind of reverse engineer the wholesale process. So now you don't run into a deal that you can I sell it? Can I assign it? It's like, nah, I got this buyer's criteria. I know what area to look in. I know what he's looking for. I know his price range. When I lock that property up, I know for sure I can assign it. So reverse wholesaling is a little bit better that I would, teach people getting started instead of just going out into a market, just fishing and hoping that you get something on the hook. Try to reverse it. Go to your end buyers first. See what they like. Like Stephanie like to buy in a certain area of Virginia, certain type of house. It got to bring in this amount every month. I know what to look for, right? So if I get a deal under contract, I'm gonna probably show it to her first before I go market it to my buyers list.
Mm,
That's
I like
reverse
that.
wholesale. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's smart. But once you find the buyers, you figure out what they like, you have a criteria. How do you find the deals or these motivated sellers?
Perfect question, right? So the number one thing with any strategy, whether it's wholesaling or it's fix and flipping, or you're gonna buy and hold it for long-term investment, you still gotta know how to find a deal before you can put any strategy on anybody. Right? If you're gonna get listings, like you still gotta learn how
Yeah.
to find the deal. And I've come to find out that deals are surrounded by people's problems, right? And a lot of times the biggest problem that people have in life is your roof. Think about it. What's the biggest concern when it comes to you and your family? Is providing a roof over their head.
That's a good quote.
And people either own or they rent, right? So if somebody owns, then they pay a mortgage every month. If somebody rents, then they pay a landlord every month. If I find a eviction list, I can see a lot of tired landlords, right? With people who may not be paying their rent or, different things like that. So that's a list that I would target, right? Of people who may be the house not for sale, but they may want to sell because they got a problem, right? I also look at people, okay, if you got a mortgage and you pay in the bank, if you something happens, let's say you get a divorce, okay, that extra source of income over there to pay that mortgage that you used to be able to afford now is in danger. So you can pull a divorce list on public records, right? You can go to your county public records website. They got all different type of lists that you can pull. Divorce list, pre-foreclosure, people behind on their mortgage payment, back taxes. What's the one I just mentioned? The tired landlords, right? The people who are coming up on the eviction list. Probates, people who pass away and the kids inherit the property. Those kids don't understand that they're inheriting a tax bill, they're inheriting a mortgage, they're inheriting liens, judgments. If anything, mama or grandmama left on that property, all the debtors are attaching all them liens to the property. So when they inherit
That's your
that property,
problem.
they think they inherited. Yeah, now there's your new problem in addition to whatever problems you
Yeah.
already got in your life. Now you got a new problem. Those people don't want to deal with that. So when you there at the right place, right time, which is my deal formula, I say it's 4 components. I got a person, a property, a problem, and a solution. Right.
Ooh.
So right place, right time. Right.
So
Everybody is a
I'm
deal.
gonna
Like you're
stop
gonna
you right there
move.
because I'm hoping that the listener, hope you guys wrote that down. Did you guys catch what he just, gems are falling from the sky? Chris is raining gems on you guys. I hope you're listening. He said deals are surrounded by people's problems, right? We all have problems. So you guys have to tap in like, all right, what is a problem someone might, and he just gave you a list. Rewind this. Listen to the probate, divorce, all these things, these opportunities for you guys to cash in. But before we go a little bit further on the wholesaling, I want to know, because you obviously have gotten all of this information. You're a sales guru. What did you do before real estate? I mean, what were some of the things that you did before this?
Before real estate, immediately before real estate, I worked at the mall. I worked at a place called Jimmy Jazz and DTLR. Like we used to sell Jordans and fresh clothes. You know, I used to
Oh
like to
yeah,
dress and stuff like that. So yeah, I worked in the mall and in those retail stores for 6 years, from like the time I was 17 all the way to 25 when I found real estate. I was working in the mall.
I love it. I've always
Yeah,
said
I was already.
the best salespeople always come from retail, in my opinion. Whether
Yeah,
it's like a
retail. Yeah,
store,
yeah.
especially like a bar, like if you find a bartender, you talk about like, if you're a
Oh, they
guy
can
like
talk.
me that's looking
Yeah.
for real estate agents to help them, like if I'm looking for problems, if I'm saying, all right, deals are surrounded by people with problems, ain't nobody got no more problems than a bartender. That person knows how to talk to people,
Come on.
resolve conflict, and generally they are tired of being in the bar. They're tired of people like taking them for granted, not appreciating them. But if you put them on like a real estate trading, oh man, they can talk and they can sell. I love it. I love retail. That retail always, it's the people who come out of college that, sorry if you came out of college, but so, y'all sometimes don't really be working like y'all need to be working. Y'all just kind of be. I'm just hey, I went to college, but I'm just saying sometimes. Hey.
Hey, look,
No.
a bartender who got their real estate license will be cold because them people coming and talking to her, and them people
Just
own
yap
how
yap
they
yap
live
yap yap
somewhere. They
yap.
may own. They yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop. She'll get listings and represent
You see
buyers
people
all
at the
night long.
bar, just man, you're here 4 nights a week. Oh yeah, I can't stand him. I ain't going home to him. You're like, yeah, hate to say it, but y'all sound like y'all about to hit that big D. So where y'all gonna sell this house? So
Yeah, when y'all gonna sell the property?
they be
Yeah,
converting.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. So you were working in retail before you got into real estate. Why real estate? I mean, did you just wake up one day and be like, oh man, real estate, or did you see something, or you read something, or you hear something that made you think, okay, real estate's a move?
Nah, look, I always knew I was a smart dude, man. When I was working in the mall, because in school I used to get decent grades. You know what I mean? So as time went on, we don't realize how fast time goes when you got a job, right? Because you're just doing the same thing every day, and then I'm watching kids get older, and my little brothers and stuff getting older, going to high school, and I'm still at the mall. Next thing I know, it's like 6 years done went by. I'm still in the same position as a 24-year-old that I was as a
Mm.
17-year-old. So I'm like, yo, there's got to be something better in the world to offer than this,
Mm.
right? So I used to talk to moms all the time and be like, yo, I'm better than this. What can I do? This and that. She like, yo, I saw this video on YouTube, dude talking about real estate. So I was checking it out, and I used to be up like late at nights, just googling like how to make $1 million, how to be rich, how to be. And I just kept seeing real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. So when moms brought that video to my attention, felt like, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be looking into. After the first video, you watch the second one, you go down the whole rabbit hole, YouTube University, y'all know
Yeah,
how it is. You find a mentor, you start trying stuff, and then it starts to happen slowly but surely.
man, I love it. I love it.
I actually needed more time. I needed more time to learn real estate. At retail and working in the malls, they make you work on the weekends, and then you got evenings, you got to close. So there's no time to cold call, knock on doors, nothing like that. So I made them fire me. I went and got a regular 9 to 5 at a call
Okay,
center, and from that call center, when I got off at 5, I would go learn real estate
I
the
love it.
time after work. and I have off.
I
Yeah,
I was
so that's
I
what I
was
did.
working a 7:30 to 5 job and running down real estate leads on my lunch break. And I'd go show houses at like 5:30. You know, I would go on my lunch break. I would change clothes into something nicer, and then go show like a $600,000 home, and just be like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, I'm always in this community." Then like, you know, but I was like getting deals, and I was
Yeah,
like, you know, I was like, it got to the point where I was just like, "All right, guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm out." So I love that. Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. One thing, yeah, Stephanie, take.
Yeah, so what are like some challenges that you face? Because I know like wholesaling and real estate is not as easy as I guess the people on Instagram want you to think it is. So
Yeah.
tell us about like a struggle that you went through, how you got through it, and how it made you stronger.
Well, when I was working at the mall, I was just going off of the videos, right? And I think the biggest fear for me was talking to the sellers and like what to say, right? So I was just going through YouTube. I found this guy in Atlanta, and I had joined his course. It was like $97 a month, so I would take my work check and pay for that, and they would give us these scripts and stuff. But he's too far from me. It's like I felt like I needed a mentor who was closer to me, like right. So I would try, Galen said, I would call sellers on break from from work, and it just I couldn't do it by myself. I couldn't do it by myself. So I started looking for a mentor in my city, and when I found a mentor in my city, when I get off work at 5 o'clock, I would go into the office. He would have these little free classes or whatever. He would show us how to pull a list from the list I was talking about. And he would say, look, just go knock on the doors, bring them in. Like just set up an appointment first, Mills. So I was trying to do the whole transaction by myself in the beginning. You know, when it's like, okay, if I can find a mentor, somebody close to me, this dude had 30 years in the business. It's like, okay, he can help me do my first deal, even if I got to split it or if I gotta give up something, or I'm only getting 20%, 10, 5, whatever. I
Yeah,
just need the experience to do the transaction. So once I found him, within 6 months, I was able to close my first deal. But during that 6 months, it was pulling the list, knocking on doors, calling, setting appointments, pulling lists, knocking on doors, setting appointments, sitting in the appointments, listening to the pitches, listening to the offers, seeing my name actually go on contracts. Like as this is happening, you see stuff happening, just ain't nothing closed yet. It's just a bunch of stuff happening that I don't understand. I'm just going through the motion. My job was to just set the appointment, sit in it, and just learn, listen, be quiet, listen, and watch him make the offers. I'll say the biggest struggle was getting the door slammed on your face or getting hung up on. You know, you get a little hurt, little hurt,
Oh yeah,
little
oh yeah.
sensitive. But once you overcome that, y'all, it's like that these people can't physically
Thank
hurt
you
you
for
for
saying
real.
that.
You know, like they not gonna beat your behind because you asking them if they want to sell, or you seeing, hey, look, I see you may have a problem with your mortgage company. I just want to come in and see if we can offer you some options on how to solve your problem at no cost to you. What day, what time you think you might be open to sit down with me and my partner, go over some free options? You free Tuesday? I start suggesting days. You free
yeah,
Tuesday? You free Wednesday? 6:30? Here's the address. I'll see you at that time. I'll send you a reminder. So I was just setting appointments, working the streets, and over time, the deal started closing.
I'm
It
glad
just
that
started
you
closing.
address
I'm gonna
the,
start.
because Stephanie's run into it. I've run into it. Sometimes when you're coaching people, people so afraid to get on the phone. They're so afraid of that
they are.
rejection. And I keep telling people, I'm like, they
Yeah.
cannot find you. They cannot reach you. They can't. They can't touch you. I was like, you're not being rude to them. So it's like, it doesn't matter. I was like, the worst thing they can do is hang up the phone on you. To me, that's the worst thing, because it's like, man, I would
Right,
rather them stay on the phone and curse me out, because at least I still got them talking. At least they'll calm down.
At
But
right.
I
least
was
I
just
still
like, man,
got
they're
him
not
talking.
going to hurt you. And then I don't know if you feel like this, Chris, but like after you start making a little money in the business, and you're on the phone with people and they start like yelling at you, it's like you really don't care. I'm just like,
Nah,
I'm like,
you already got the
yeah.
thin skin. It's over
I
with.
mean, like, they're upset. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, once I hang up this phone, I'm gonna get in a car and go have a beautiful dinner with my friends and go hang out. It's like, My life's okay. So it's like I was like, I'm sorry. Very that's fine. I like that question, Stephanie. You talked about so that guru, the one in Atlanta, that's $97 a month, right? So obviously
Yeah.
you've
Hmm.
invested in your business, and that's something that's hard for people to grasp. I'm sure you've paid other coaches, other fees, and you probably found some beneficial, some not. But why do you think it's so important for everyone to just be financially investing in their business?
It's extremely important. I mean, you can try to cheat and go the freeway or go the YouTube way all you want, but think about it. I just told you, and I found out about real estate in 2014. I was just strictly YouTube and not paying a mentor. It took me a whole year. I didn't even do a deal the whole 2014. Then 2015, I quit. And then right, and that's what happens when you don't have somebody coaching you, and you start reaching these hurdles that Stephanie was asking me about. You don't know how to overcome them hurdles because you can't see the light on the other side. You don't even know it's possible if wholesaling is even real unless you did a
Yeah.
deal before. It sounds like a religion or a fairy tale or something. Like, you don't, this
Like, who made
wholesaling.
this up?
What is this? Yeah, you don't. Yeah, like I made it up. Like, oh, you could do it without a real estate license. You don't need thousands of dollars. It's like, no, this thing really is real. But
Yeah,
as somebody who's just getting started, you don't know it's real unless you taste it, unless you cash that check, unless you held 30,000 cash in your hand. Like, you don't understand what this game can actually do, right? So I mean, investing in coaching, you got it. You have to do it because we've already went through the hurdles that you're gonna go through.
right.
So I'm saving you time by you investing in it. You're gonna lose that money bumping your head that whole year where you think you can just do it by yourself. That entire year you're spending time and money. And time is money. So then you add that on to it. You get what I'm saying? The longer you take to get your first $10,000 is costing you
Ooh,
two, three, four, five
that
times as more than
Yeah.
you even
that
think it
opportunity
is, bro.
cost.
Because once I show you how to get the 10 the first time, you just can do it over and over. The longer you wait, the more money you losing. So it's like, yo, do the coaching,
Facts.
do it so you don't have to worry about bumping your head. Like that's the thing. It's the cheat code, it's the speed path to
Very good.
success. That's how I equate. So even now today, man, as long as the guru is reputable and all my colleagues say, oh, he or she fire, or I definitely do my background and check on these people. But as long as they check out, man, it really kind of almost don't matter what the ticket price is because I know what I'm gonna do
Very
with it.
good. I love that. That's a good message to a lot of people. Just like you got to invest in yourself. It's like we can't make you do it. There's nothing free. I don't care what anyone tells you. It's like you're going to have to pay one way or the other, whether it's time or money or energy. And sometimes those things, the value
Hmm.
is way off the charts. Sammy, what other questions do you have?
Can you just drop like a last minute gem or something that you learned along the path that somebody who's just starting might need to know?
Yeah, I would say I don't want to sound too cliche, but networking definitely, right? You definitely want to rock with somebody, or at least get in a group with somebody. Like me and Stephanie was in a circle group
Yeah.
with other investors and other people who's learning from the same guru, right? So sometimes you can't contact the guru directly, or you may not even want to. It's other people in the group who, like, say, like the guru's on step 10, we're on level 1. Stephanie may be on step 4, right? So she could help me get
Yep.
from 1 to 4. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? To help me get to 10 to where the guru at. So boom, us just being in that community, and then there's other people in that community. You got some people do this, some people do that, some people do this.
Right.
That's all going to benefit your business when you starting out, right? Maybe some things she's seen that I ain't seen yet, right? But then now I'm crossing that hurdle. You need to be in these groups. You got a network. Second thing is software and just having some type of organization. Like, you can't keep everything in the spiral notebook.
Yeah, and that's all
That's
my
what you're
notebook.
doing.
I swear that's me. I gotta
That's
stop.
what you're
Like,
doing.
oh,
I've got a
Yeah, you can't
that's
put
so
it.
I've got another podcast where a whole episode is about your CRM. Because I was running into so many agents, they were like showing up with like notepads and paper. I'm like, are you the Unabomber? What is all this? I'm like, you're gonna lose this stuff. I was like, you need to have systems, like invest in yourself. So these things will remind you, keep you organized, keep you paid. I was like, keep your taxes in order. I was like, man, y'all wild with these pieces of paper, like these med notepads, these black and white marble notepads.
Especially with wholesaling, because with wholesaling, once you get your first deal or second deal, now it becomes a numbers game. Is to like, okay, how many people do I need to contact in order to get a hot lead? And how many hot leads do I need to contact in order to get an offer? How many offers do I need in order to get a deal? And then it's like, now you start to play the numbers game. So you have to plug all of that stuff into your CRMs and have little triggers and have your follow-ups and have what deals are in the pipeline, which people, you know what I mean? So just having or being organized, like you said, you got a whole podcast episode on CRMs and organization. That's very, very important, right? And then the third thing I would say is to continue educating yourself, right? Never stop reinvesting in your education, like even books, other mentorships, other groups. I would just
Podcasts.
continuously educate myself. Podcast is huge. I'm a podcast junkie.
Me too.
I'm a podcast junkie.
I I
I love them. I sit
I
down on
def-
I,
podcast day long.
I was saying that not on YouTube. I probably haven't seen it.
yeah, when it comes to podcasts, I listen to all types too. It's like not just like business, like you just learn about people, and the more you learn about people, the frankly, the better you can sell to them. It's like if you know what they're
Yeah.
interested in, what makes them laugh, what makes them tick, what motivates them, well, now you can speak to that as if you're one of them. And when people think that you're one of them, oh,
Yeah.
they will open every door for you. They'll be, oh, I'll talk to this guy. Yeah, it's like, oh man, did you see that on the show the other? Oh yeah, I did. Like just be able to kind of like speak their language, as they said. This is Chris Mills. Thank you so much for bringing. Because I feel like you brought us a good energy as far as what we can do. If you guys haven't done so already, Chris, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can follow me on Instagram at Real Estate Mills, MILLS at Real
Very
Estate
good. And,
Mills.
and I want you guys to do that because one of the challenges I think that we see with a lot of coaches, entrepreneurs, they are trying to teach you at a level that's like you can't grasp it. But he mentioned he's addressing some of that entry level stuff that all of you guys, all of us need. Because if you can't get to that part, you'll never go. So you need someone who can be like, all right, here's the baby steps. Here's what his program will teach you that you can kind of run through this and be like, all right, now I can feel, touch, and see success, make it tangible, because that's what's going to keep you motivated. So Chris Mills, thank you so much. Stephanie, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but if you are, where can we reach you?
He the biggest.
Stephanie Nicole
The boss. It
RVA.
should say the boss, but it doesn't. It's Stephanie Nicole RVA. If you guys get lost in the sauce and you need to follow me, I am _Galen Parker. This is the Round 2 podcast. Please stay up to date, tapped in. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes. We are on YouTube. Get heavy with us because we are investing in you. I want to hear some success stories. 12 months from now, I wanted someone to come up to me and say, hey, I listened to your show and now I've secured the bag. And I want to bring you on the show and let you tell us how you secured the bag, some of your biggest loss. You are not a failure until the moment in which you quit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tapping into us. Have a great night.